Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dragagon, and this is Greg Tech New Horizons. So, after the last time we met, I went ahead and cleaned up the rest of my inventory. I even took out the hollow glasses so that I wouldn't accidentally lose those. I now have 2 stacks of cobble and 20 torches. And that is just to start off by jumping into the Nether and trying to get a base of operations set up. And we'll see what happens from there. More steel going. I may get sick just by crossing into this chunk. It's probably a bad idea to have it in the same chunk as my brick blast furnace, but here we go. Alright, wait for it to load up the Nether. Birds are apparently happy. Here we go. And we've appeared in the middle of a little bit of soul sand. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get us started then. Yep, that's what I always worry about, is starting near a wonderful ghast. As long as they stay away, I don't mind. Let's go ahead and get through some of this. That should be good there, like that. So, get all this stuff set up and done, and then once I've got a nice little spot where I can safely keep from having enemies be able to shoot me and whatnot, and then I can begin my usual thing of finding spots to dig up and down in order to get to the various Y levels that I like to search around for ores in this pack. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, get this thing set up, and then I'll probably go ahead and also get my gear on, and we can I'll bring you guys back in once I've got the various levels of my base set up and running around, and begin the quest for all the goodies like the sulfur and the tetrahedrite and everything else. I did update my what do you want to call it? My clipboard with all the things that I want to get done next, which is basically find all of the various ores that you can get here, and then let's go ahead and do that and that, just so that we've got a way up for now. But yeah, all the various ores and such, so that I can get us prepped for the next phases of this game. Let's see here. Let's torch that up. And torch that up. And then one last important thing is to add a bookmark for home. So there we go. All right, I will be back once I've got some stuff. Ooh, that is never a good sign. I did not see that until just now. That's like a bee nest, a wasp nest. Anyway, that's not a fun thing to be around. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to get a move on away from here for that. So anyway, we'll be back after a while, and I'll see you then. Well, it's been a while since I've been in the Nether. As you can see from my levels, I haven't died yet, knock on wood. I did get a little bit of nether quartz, and so I was able to make the flooring, and I put the flooring down in my kitchen area at this point. So that's a nice little kitchenette spot there. While I was in, I took my ore finder wand and I took a few different ores. Namely, I took a pyrite, a redstone, a diatomite, was there anything else? Oh, a copper ore and a malachite ore. And I think that's all I brought with me were just those few ores. Now, this will let you find several different ores. You have your typical copper ore. You've got your iron ore, primarily the brown and yellow limonite. And then redstone, of course, for redstone. And then malachite is for one of the other iron. No, malachite is for the other ones. Anyway, but if you, let's go ahead and hit R on this and then come over here and right click on the Nether, since I don't have it like bookmarked or anything like that. You can see we've got a sulfur vein, a molybdenum vein, manganese vein, quartz vein, redstone, copper, iron, beryllium, electrotine, tetrahedrite, and then another quartz vein. Now, out of those, you can find sulfur veins with the pyrite, which is good. The molybdenum, you're just going to get lucky somewhere between 20 and 50. Not very high on the weight, so you're not going to find hardly any. You know, that's like 1 in 100, maybe 5 in 100 chunks anyway. The manganese vein, you also need, you can use pyrolusite. And I believe pyrolusite you can find in an apatite vein. Let me just double check that. Apatite. No, that's pyrochlor. Okay. So for pyrolusite, you might just have to have found one in the overworld if you want to find those ores there. And then, so let's see here. We also have the quartz vein, which you're just going to have to find somewhere between 80 and 120. Redstone veins you can find with redstone. Copper you can find with pyrite or copper ore, so that's kind of a nice plus, is just carrying around one pyrite will get you both copper and sulfur. Iron veins, that's where I brought the malachite. The iron vein, yeah, the limonite vein with the malachite. Beryllium you're just going to have to find. Electrotine you're just going to have to, you can find with diatomite actually. So that's kind of a nice thing to find there. I brought the copper ore, of course, for the tetrahedrite vein, as opposed to the copper vein. So that's going to be nice to find one of those. And then we have another quartz vein, which if you found one of the other quartz veins, you can find the nether quartz vein. And if you find another quartz vein, you can take the quartzite and find the other quartz vein. But there's nothing that you can have from the overworld just to get around to those things. So with that, I found a couple of sulfur veins, I found a beryllium vein, and I found an electrotine vein. And once we get into, the nether and take a look, we can see that. But one of the things I started out here for was I made, so this quest right here, the power of the sun, wants you to craft a simple solar boiler. I had already had a simple solar boiler. That's okay. I'll just make a second one. I really don't mind having a second solar power. And what I can do is I can actually go ahead and just rip out this guy. And I need my wrench to do that. So down I go. And we'll grab my wrench real quick here. And again, apologies that those machines are so loud. I can't really hear anything else if I turn them down too much, so I don't, but yeah. And then for these guys, the output faces you, so you actually have to turn it around this way and do that with it, and then now it'll start to fill up with water, heat itself up, and now I have double the amount of steam for free rather than having to burn through coal. So yeah, that is helpful for me to do that right there. Let's see here. Over here, I am grinding up, well, I was grinding up some sulfur ore because it wants 40 sulfur in order to make the rubber bars. And then I have an extractor going right now, pulling out the raw rubber dust. Let's see here, 21 will get me 63, so yeah, that won't clog that up. So now let's go ahead and run that hammer, and running the hammer there will get us the sulfur that we can drop into our little cauldron over here. And that's something I did earlier as well. I went ahead, I had the, while I was moving stuff around, I have the mushrooms. Sorry, I'm just going to leave that area. Whew. I have the mushrooms, so I went ahead and made a that Botania flower pedestal. But I don't have a shimmering white. I didn't use a shimmering white, but I also haven't found a shimmering white one in order to progress the flower power quest here for the pure daisy. I need to get a white shimmering mushroom, and then I can grab a bunch of white flowers. Those things are all over the place in order to make the pure daisy, and then drop down some stone and some wood and make living wood and living rock, and progress to the first mana pool for Botania here. Kill all the things. The only thing I really did is I killed a whole bunch of cows in order to get a bunch of leather in order to make the piston boots. So I now have piston boots, so I auto stair step. I don't have to waste a lot of energy jumping, but when I do need to jump, I've got a 3 high jump now. So that's those piston boots are really helpful for making it to where it's easy to get around. Let's see here. Anything else? Probably not. Nether quartz, yeah. Lucifer's little helper, a nether furnace. With an alloy smelter and some netherrack, you can make nether furnaces, which are extremely efficient. Okay. Okay. So, make another furnace, not a big deal. And then we have glow flowers. Now, I've seen some glow flowers. I have not gone to go pick them yet. So that's one of the things I should look out for is some nether flowers, or the glow flowers, and plant them in the overworld. I haven't really gone after any trees, but right now I am working on the rubber and the sulfur dust to make these rubber bars. Let's get inside and go to sleep. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. There you can see I found an electrotine and a beryllium. I had to restart a couple of times. I installed FTB utils in order to chunk load my base so that my base will continue to process materials while I'm in the nether or while I'm further away killing cows and whatnot. So there was that going on. And then and then it starts up with its config automatically set up to make backups, and GTNH already has a backup program, so I went ahead and just disabled it. I was getting constant lag spikes. It may be because I transferred between the nether and the base a few times, and that's what's causing the lag spikes, but it got so bad I restarted and I killed the backup just to be absolutely sure that it wasn't going to, that the two of them weren't competing for who was going to do the backup and causing me problems in that regard. So that is everything I've done so far to get you guys all caught up. That guy, can that guy turn into... No, he can just be... I can basically pulverize him for some bronze dust, don't care about the brick dust, and be done with that. I may keep it, we'll see. But the next thing I would love to tackle are these HP solar boilers. These guys, yeah, these guys get cranking out really fast, and they produce 3 times the amount of steam that the other one does, so that's amazing. I like that. I would like to make these guys, but they take triple silver plates. Triple silver plates. Silver's hard enough to come by. I've only found enough. Well, had I not made 2 of them in order to unlock that quest, I probably could have made 1 by now. But yeah, they are definitely a little bit more on the expensive side. But having 2 of those guys up there running, 1 to complete this quest, and then 2 just to have it done. Let's go ahead and grab that. It'll give me 2 more food that I can use while I'm running around in the nether. So let's go ahead and look at that. If we go through here, over to my nether spot. my steel is done for now. I need to work on getting some more charcoal made before I can start using that again. So yeah, here we are. And of course there's ghasts floating around making a bunch of noise. So let's see. Let's go ahead and go down this way and see if we can get away from them so they're not making quite so much noise. You can see from the mini-map I've got a few things marked now, and we'll take a look at them in just a second here. Alright, we may have to deal with one still whining about. I really don't like those guys, but what can you do? So, if we open this guy up, you can see that I found 3 sulfur veins, a copper vein, an electrotine vein, a beryllium vein, and a redstone vein. The redstone I found by accident. I was looking to see if it was sulfur. I dug down and I smacked a redstone, so that was cool. And then when I came back in with the ore finder wand, the moment I popped into home, I had the pyrite in there, and it immediately popped up all 3 of these sulfur and that copper. And then I've just been running around down here at Y level 17. And that's how at the end of this hallway I found both this electrotine and this beryllium here just on the other side of the 00 chunk. So that was excellent. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. I am going to continue to gather up materials and get ourselves prepared. I'm going to do a bunch more looking around. You can see I've marked the various ore nodes because it's easier to see where they are on the mini-map than it is for me to run until I see this is an ore chunk up there in the upper left. So I'll be running around seeing if I can find some of those other ore spots, and that's pretty much all I'll be doing this episode, is trying to gain access to these new materials. I definitely am going to need a lot of copper, which means that I'm going to be spending a lot of time on my steam furnace smelting up the copper that I've already crushed inside the little chest there underneath the pulverizer is several stacks of the crushed copper. This guy right down here. I've got, yeah, you can see I've got all those stacks of chalcopyrite that I then need to process in the furnace. Well, first in the hammer and then the furnace in order to get us enough copper so that we can, what was I needing the copper for just now? Oh, I'm going to need a lot of that copper for these wires that I can see the quest for now. So, yeah, that's what I'll be working on, and we'll see you guys back here in a bit. Well, that about does it for the Nether. I was almost able to get all of it. Oh, hang on. Why am I walking slow? There we go. Had the shift button stuck. So, let's go ahead and go into the Nether while the birds scream and make all kinds of noise. And if we take a look in here, I do have like a bat flying around up there, so I may have to deal with it. But looking at the map, you can see I've found a few more things. I found some tetrahedrite, and I finally found quartz. Those were 2 of the missing ones that I had. The last thing that is missing is some nether quartz, and so I now have in my ore finder. Oh, I took it out. Sorry. I now have in my ore finder wand some of the quartzite, so that as I'm running around down here on the bottom, I can possibly find a quartzite vein and have it pop up so that I have access to nether quartz. Nether quartz spawns between 40 and 80 on the Y level, and so having this guy out and running around here should help with finding some, because it searches, the tooltip says Y60, and that is both up and down. So I can run around down here, and at 17 I might miss one, like one of the spots, just because my Y levels are pretty low. there you can see this was my beryllium, and I just kind of ran down to the bottom of it just so that I would have it marked out. And of course I'm angering pigmen. So there we go. Now I have not, here's what I've been doing. If we pull this up, you guys can see I've run lines around down underneath. The other thing that I do, let's see here. I think there's a, no, not that one. I thought there was a way that I could go up and down between Y levels, but that might be a different different pack, a different version of Journey Map that allows me to pick what Y level I'm looking at. But at the 120 height, I ran all over these guys in order to try and find the stuff that I did. And so now what I'm left with is running around on the Y20 floor with this prospecting wand, trying just to find some nether quartz. Now, if I open this up and I hit the R key on that, and we look at the veins, we've got the quartz vein in the nether. We've got a quartz vein on other worlds. And then we have the nether quartz vein. All three of those use quartzite. So as long as I'm running around with this in here, I'm going to eventually find a spot that has some nether quartz, as long as I'm within the right Y level range, which 17 plus 60 is 77. So it's not perfect per se, but it is enough. And actually I want to put those there just in case I run into a patch of lava and I need it to fill it in so it doesn't, you know, kill me alive. I've got 26 levels worth of XP that I haven't done anything with. I should really make one of the XP drains from I think it's age 0. There's a thing for it shows a bucket of XP, but it wants you to make a drain. And oh, hey, look at that. Found that node's material. Some iron there. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing until I find some nether quartz, and that's really all I've been doing. I did make a gold chest so I can put the ores into a slightly larger chest. I also did go ahead and complete making the raw rubber dust and sulfur just by extracting the resin out of the rubber trees and made it into the rubber bars. And then I also made a rubber soft mallet so that I could run around and do that kind of stuff. So up next for me is I started processing some of my materials down, but yeah, basically I'm going to be going through the list of things here. If we go ahead and turn on view mode, basically I'm looking at wrapping this up with the rest of this video. So once I find some another quartz vein, I've found one of each of the veins that I'm looking for, except for maybe the wolframite, and for that it's just going to take time as I run through and hopefully find a rare one. And that'll just, you know, be something I do on the side as opposed to something I'm doing on camera. So I will see you guys back here when we're ready to tackle our first LV Steam Turbine. Well, after a couple hours of searching, I finally found a couple of nether quartz veins. So I was finally able to mark a check mark there at nether quartz. If I were to go into the nether right now, it's a disaster in there. There's just, you know, ores are worse than this because I had to travel up like 3 or 4 more ore chunks and then over 2 more ore chunks, and I finally was able to find some nether quartz. And I mean, I was all over the place trying to find this nether quartz. Found a whole bunch of other stuff, but and then when I did find nether quartz, I found 3 ore chunks of it all within the same relative area. So unfortunately I did not find any of the molybdenum, so no molly for me. I will have to just deal with that at another point. But if you were to look it up and take a look at what places it spawns in, it also spawns over in the Twilight Forest, so we may run into some of it while we are looking for our magic materials. But yeah, for right now, you'll notice I have a white shimmering mushroom. While I was in the Nether, in one of the little miniature little pocket veins that they had, I happened to have found a white shimmering mushroom. Oh, just to give you an idea of the number of veins that I had to go through trying to find this thing, it was quite a lot. There were several veins in there before I finally found, I think it's this one right here. You found 3 new ore veins is when I finally found some nether quartz veins. And then I already put it up here in my ore chest. Where is it? Beryllium, sphalerite, Certus. Right there. 54 nether quartz. I also happen to have picked up a couple more of the quartzite because that's again how I found it. I ran around with quartzite inside of my ore finder wand. So I have found one of everything with the exception of the molybdenum in the nether. So we're good there. By the time I need to find any more ore veins, we will have like the miners, and I'll just run around and see if we can find something that way rather than worrying about having to dig it out, having to be, you know, at the right Y height to find it, etc. For the most part, I'll be able to just run around and be like, okay, there's a spot, go mine it up, and then walk away and let it do its thing. So what I said I would work on next is, of course, getting the rest of these guys done. So we may as well go ahead and get started with our wire cables. I'm going to apologize in advance for the noise because it is going to get rather noisy while we get this initial stuff set up. So we need 3 red alloy wire. That's going to be 6 red alloy. We're going to need 7 tin, so that's 8, which is 12. 8. Yes, 12 tin. And then we need 24 copper wire. So let's go ahead and just start with this guy. There's 6 of them. And there's that going. I'm going to need 12 tin. And as you can see down in the bottom left, I've got 5 stacks of tin. So I really don't have all that much to worry about when it comes to tin. 24 copper wires is 24 plates right now. 24 plates is 36 copper. So let's get 36 copper. And then the last thing it says is this 8 fine copper wire. Those come from clipping foil with wire cutters. So I'm going to need 8 foil. Foil comes from hammering plates. You get 2 each, so if I need 8, I'm going to need 4 plates. So 4 plates is another, what is that? That's another 6 of those. And since it's nighttime, let's go ahead and go to sleep. Even though I'm inside this entire time, I'd really just rather not have mobs even spawning outside to cause problems. And, oh, I could have used the 2 that I already had made up there. That's all right. We will be using more red plates all over the place. I'm probably going to need more pistons at some point and whatnot, so we'll go ahead and just leave those be. But if we take these over here and with wire cutters, 1, 2, 3... we don't need to necessarily go with all 4 of them. I can just put that other plate up there and we can save it for later. The copper is more likely going to be used pretty quickly, so I will keep the copper. And same thing with the tin. We'll use up the tin in terms of making wires to put with things like motors and casings and all of that kind of stuff. So there is that. Wait for this thing to finish this one. There we go. And then let that thing go with the rest of those. 1, 2, 3, and we'll just go ahead and make that fourth one rather than keep a tin plate sitting around. All right, let's see here. Next, I will need the hammer out of... Oh, I already have the hammer with me. So, let's see here. Let's go ahead and grab those guys. Now, only 4 of these are needed. Swap them places. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fine wire like that. So that gets us those parts done. Now we just wait for the copper to finish up there, but we can go ahead and wrap our cables in some rubber now. So let's just grab all of the rubber and we can go like this. No? How do we wrap these guys in wire? We need... Really? It wants rubber sheets? Oh, or I smelt it in the alloy smelter. That's originally how we do it. Right. Okay, so take all of that out. Let's go over here. And we'll let the alloy smelter go on it. Again, sorry for the noise. Not a whole lot I can do about it when we are trying to get all of this stuff done. Now with 24 of those guys, we can just take it like this, and I can do all 24 at once. And that should get me that complete. So there we go. Now we're down to just a red alloy cable and the tin cable. There's 2 of those, and then there's all 3 of those going. All right. Now I notice that I haven't accepted a quest reward here. Oh, it's got to be a loot bag. I am collecting loot bags still. Apologies if you guys have already commented on what you want me to do with my with that stuff. I took a while releasing some of the videos, and so they are I'm a little bit ahead of when I said, hey guys, let me know what you think I should do with those things. So almost there with this. And then we can take a look at the vacuum tube, a resistor, the basic motor, and then I believe once this guy is done, we will get the basic machine hull. I think there's a rotor quest here, and then the actual machine itself. We'll see here in just a second, though. There we go. Wired, weird. Yeah, there's a rotor quest. Look at that. So, all right. LV machine casing. It needs 8 steel plates wrapped with a wrench. So that means I'm going to need 12 of my steel, which is going to cut into the steel that I was hoping to reach 4 stacks with. That's quite all right, though. I think it's necessary. So there is that. While we're getting those plates going, let's take a look here. So 2 red alloy bolts, okay, 4 steel rods, and 2 glass tubes. Now I don't think I have any glass, so I'm going to need to make some of that. I believe we can macerate this. I think it needs 2 of them, actually. Oh, the macerator is not powerful enough for that. I would need like an electric macerator or something along those lines if I want to macerate flint into the larger flint pieces. There is our LV machine casing, however. And then the other part of that is 2 wrought iron plates, 1 steel plate, 2 tin cables. So I've got 1 wrought iron plate, but I need a second one. So there's those 2 for that. We have 2 tin cables. I need a steel plate. All right. I may just grab out this entire half a stack of steel, since it seems like everything wants to use steel. There's that one. And there's that. So we have a steel plate, 2 wrought iron plates, 2 tin cables, and an LV machine casing. And now we have an LV machine hull. Fantastic. Next it wants rotors, which are made of tin. It's 4 tin plates, a tin screw, and a tin ring to do that. I don't think, yeah, we don't have an extruder yet, so I can't just do the 5-to-1 on that. We don't have an assembler yet, so I can't do the 4-in-1 to that. And I definitely don't have a fluid solidifier. So 4 tin plates, a tin screw, a tin ring. So 2 tin for those, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the other. There goes that. I need 2 of those made like that. 1 of those made like that. 1 of those made like that. And then I need that, the file, and the hammer. And there's our tin ring. And I will keep the hammer because we've got more to do, I believe. So, whoops, tin, 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 that, a tin screw to tie it together, and then it needs, what does it need for the rest of that? Oh, I was supposed to make 2 of those, and I already screwed up. I'm gonna have to make a second ring. That's all right. I'm sure I'll be making more motors before I get a break. 1, 2. Drop that guy in. 1, 2. There we go. And then I'm going to need to make a second one. So another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drop that in. We'll put that tin ring in there. But then I need to make tin screws. So here we go. Tin rod. There we go. Tin bolt. Tin screw. Both of those are done. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. A screw. And then we need the hammer, the file, and the screwdriver. So hammer, file, screwdriver. Hammer, file, screwdriver. There's our 2 tin rotors. Yay, that craft is done now. All right. The next thing after that is back to this guy. I need a red bolt, 4 steel rods, and 2 glass tubes. So I need 2 of these guys. I need 2 of those guys. And get those ground up like that. I then have a mortar already. Get those ground down. This usually takes a little while. So while we wait for that, I can get a red bolt. Bolt. Like so. And then like so. So there's that. That's only 1. Oh, there it goes. 2 of those. Sleep off the night. Isn't it so much fun making our first machine hull? There are so many steps involved in getting this thing up and running. Let's see here. 6 steel rods. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bam. There we go. Oh, I only needed 4. All right. Well, that was a good waste then. 2 of these with 2 of these. Make 2 of those. And then I need my ball case. Or my ball mold, rather. Mold 2 of those. Let those guys craft those out. Resistors. 4. I need 2 coal dust. Okay. Hopefully I have some. Yep, there we go. Grind those guys up. And then this guy needs 8 redstone into 2 magnetic iron rods. We've made those before. 2 of those. And I've got 10 stacks of redstone now from grinding up the 1 stack of redstone ore. So that's definitely worth doing there. 2 iron rods. And then we take those, wrap them with redstone, and make 2 of those. And then we need to make the electric motors, which we'll get to in just a second. Instead, I want my 2 coal dust. I want my 2 glass tubes. And then we want to make that guy. That guy. That guy. All right, so let's get each of those. I need 2 motors. Oh, I need the iron rods. Okay, so I need 4 iron rods. Maybe I misunderstood what I was supposed to get on that last one, but no worries. We will also make use of iron rods any old time. So here we go, 2 electric motors, 1, 2. Oh, and fireworks. Sorry for the loud. I'll wait for those to go down. There we go. And I'll lower that in post so that it's not all too loud. And then the birds help, right? Right. So next we have this guy. Why did that not... Oh, is that... No. Oh, that's with carbon dust. I need the one with coal dust. Okay, let's try this again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Enough. Thank you. The 4 resin, 4 wires, and the 4 are in the 2 coal dust. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. There's both resistors. All right. And then lastly, we have our vacuum tubes. 1, 2. Okay, next we need a wood plank and 2 sticky resin. I have a wood plank right here. So a wood plank, 2 sticky resin, coated circuit board. And then it says I need 8 wires for that 1 coated circuit board, so I'm 2 short. So 1, 2. Oop, that's going to need to be 3. So there's 8 of those. And then for the coated circuit board, it's just the circuit board wrapped in copper wire. So here we go. Like so. There's our circuit board done. Now we can make our first electronic circuit. And it needs, of course, a steel casing. And then 3 red alloy cables. So a steel casing, fortunately, you should also have made the casing mold. And then that guy goes in here and uses 2 ingots. There we go. And you get 3 casings out of it, which isn't too bad. So here we go. If we hit U on that, we want this, and there is our first basic circuit. And with that comes then our basic steam turbine, but I don't have any bronze fluid pipes, and I have enough. I don't know if those come in pairs. Do they craft in pairs? They do. Okay. So here we go then. 9 of those. I'm going to need the wrench as well as the hammer. And then if we come in here, we can do this, 2 of those, and then this, and 1 basic steam turbine. There we go. That is everything that we needed, except for safety first, which just mark that as okay. All it's doing is telling us about keeping the electronics out of water because they will catch fire and then explode. And we have now unlocked our LV tier. So with our first LV tier, we have our basic steam turbine, which if I drop it and then pick it back up, there it goes. So there is our basic steam turbine, and then we've unlocked way too much stuff in LV. And since this video is going on about 45 minutes now, I'm going to go ahead and cut here. I'm going to finish working on my 4x steel, and then I am going to figure out what I'm going to do this time in order to set up a nice steam area. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Till then.